about separating. I thought we talked about this, but maybe we didn't. About separating, which, if I asked you, let's see, here. If you start with something and you separate it, what type of problem do you think that is? For example, we start with all of the 5th grade class and we separate it into boys and girls. You know, I say there are whatever, 29 5th grade students. You know, 21 of them are girls, blah, blah, blah. What do you suppose it is going to be? What type of problem? That is not division. That is separating, making equal groups, by the way. Ephraim? Yeah. So these will be subtraction problems. And our subtraction problems, our subtraction problems fit into the pattern of this. You start with, you have some to start with, and then some go away. And what you have as the answer is what is left. What is left. And here is an example of that. Let's see. Oswald had $28. After he spent $12, how much did he have left? And again, I will tell you, 5th grade, I'm not so much concerned about the answer for this as it is that you can plug it into the little pattern problem that we had, and you can show me how you get that answer. So you have to figure out in this problem, what is the sum that you started with, and maybe I should put that here. What is the sum that went away and what is left? You'll be given 2 of those 3 things and asked to find the 3rd one. And this one's pretty easy, I think. Do you know how much Mr. Oswald had to start with? Which would be what? John?
$28.
Started with $28, so that goes there with the starting point. Do we know how much went away? And do we know how much is left when we go? Aiden, we know
12 went away.
12 went away, and then you can do the problem, and then you get how much is left. That is obviously a very simple one, because now we're going to talk about one that gets a little harder. You ready? I know you are. Write this one down. After losing 234 pounds, Jumbo, the elephant, Jumbo the elephant weighed 4,368 pounds. 4,368 pounds. How much did he start weighing? So now, first thing you recognize is that you are separating Jumbo's weight into 2 groups, how much he started before he weighed and how much he weighed after. Okay, so if you're thinking about the pattern of the problem we just did, I'll abbreviate a little. Which two of those three do we know? Which two of those three? River, give me something we know of in this problem. We know what?
How much he lost?
How much did he lose?
234,000.
And where does that go? Does that start, went away, left, went away. So we know that he went to, let's pick a different color, entirely blue. Not black. I love it. River says this, he lost 234 pounds. All right, so we're left with 4,368 pounds. Is that how much he weighed to start, or is that how much he weighed at the end when it was left? At the end. So that's how much was left. 4,368. What should we do up here? Again, I'm not asking for what we do to solve the problem. Remember, just like before with the addition problem, we don't know that, so we
Add.
wait, we don't know this. What letter we have to write our equation first. We have to fill in all the blanks. We know this one, we know this one. We have to put the number here. Before we do any mathematical work, we're just gonna put something there. Ronnie?
4,368.
We've already got 4,368. I am going to put, if I don't know something, I am going to put a letter. Because I don't know what it is, and we can pick a letter to, and what letter would be most appropriate here? You can pick any letter that you want, but sometimes in math we try to pick a letter that kind of stands for what we're talking about, because sometimes it's easier to remember when we have a whole bunch of letters when we pick out what they stand for. Sam, so let's pick, what would be, oh, pounds, right? Is that what you're going for? Good. I was gonna go W or P, but pounds is good. So this is my equation. Now, how do I know what to do? Somebody already said add, which is true, but how come why with the subtraction problem would I add? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's a subtraction problem. Connor, who's almost jumping out of the seat, yes sir?
Because you have to know the biggest number, like you added to get a bigger number, because there can't be a bigger number on the bottom than on top.
Okay, I'll go for that. That is kind of where I'm going, but not necessarily here. I mean, you are absolutely right in everything you said. Do you remember when we did the addition problem and we had missing numbers with subtraction? When we have missing number problems, what are you supposed to do? This would be something we talked about way back when. When you were missing a problem, I said, what you need to do is, Chloe,
Subtract $234.
No. But you're close. Remember way back when we did this, I'll go back and give you a little reminder. When we did 38 plus b equals 93. And you had these problems when you were missing a number there. I gave you the one thing I want you to do every time you see a missing number problem is, oh, so many times, so much is correct. Nobody? Ellie Stewart. Yes. I want you to get in the habit of thinking of an easier problem. Remember we did this, we did 7 plus 8 is 15, and when you're missing the middle, what'd you do with these two to get 15? You subtracted it. Same thing here. Think of an easy subtraction problem. It could be anything. 9 minus 6 is 3. If you are missing, see I'm missing the top. If I was missing the 9, what do I do with 6 and 3 to get 9? That is where you say, oh, I have to add. So I do actually have to add. I take my 4,368 and add 234 to it. And good old jumbo ends up being 4,602 pounds. That's what the missing pound number would be. This, I'm going to ask you bazillions of times. Think of an easier problem. Think of an easier problem. I think we're ready for one more. What that would be, I don't know. All right, how about this one? Sure, write this one down. 500 racers. 500 racers started the race. started the race. Only 293 finished the race. Only 293 finished the race. How many dropped out? And for the umpteenth billionth time, I don't necessarily care that you can give me the answer. I want you to be able to put it into our subtraction pattern because I'm separating these racers into ones that finished and ones that dropped out, right? So I've got the ones that started, my original starting number. I've got the ones that went away, and then I've got what's left. If you fill in the blanks there, what numbers go where? Jonah, give me one. Do I know who started, how many went away, or what was left? Which ones? Anything? No? Yes? Any idea? How about let's stay with 500. Is the number 500 how many started, how many went away, or how many were left? Started. So I put that 500 here. Minus. I got that. Do I know how many went away, or do I know how many were left? What's my other thing there? Went away or left? Olivia?
Left.
Left, which was how many?
293.
I got 293. I might have said 239, but either way. Okay, 293. So here, I don't know this number here, so I'm going to put a letter there. What would be an appropriate letter, young Mr. Manley? What would you put?
R.
R for racers? Love it. Now, how do I know? Am I going to add or subtract those? How do I know? Because you have to.
Think of an easier problem.
Mr. Gordon, guys.
Sorry.
How do I know I have to? Caroline? Think of the problem. And it could be anything. I'll do 8 minus 1 is 7. Which one am I missing here? Missing the middle, right? Missing the middle, missing the middle. What do I do with 8 and 7 to get 1? There I'm going to, River, subtract. So that's what I'll do here. 500 minus 293. 4, 10, 9, 10. 7, 0, 2. 207 racers finished. But wait, dropped out, right? Sorry, dropped out. And it's important for you to notice, 5th graders, that even though this was a subtraction problem, and the one we did before, before we did is a subtraction problem, but we did different things in both cases. This case was a subtraction problem, but we added to find the answer. In this one, it was a subtraction pattern problem, but we had to subtract. And that's why it's important to do this, because this tells you whether you add or subtract. That sure is exciting. Very exciting for us. So, in the book, children,